Welcome to Coach's Roundtable. I'm Ed Codi, and welcome our guest, award-winning reporter, sports director, 93.7 The Fan, Jeff Hathhorn. Jeff, thanks for joining us. I'm putting a big glass of Steeler Kool-Aid in front of you. What are you going to do? Are you gonna look at it? Are you going to sip it? You're going to pour it out, or are you going to drink it?
I'm not going to dump it over my head. I'm not going to take it and run through a wall. I'm going to sip it. There are some things I liked, in the preseason that give me good feelings about this team. There are some things I question though that have to be better than what forget the preseason as much as just practice and making sure that it is what it needs to be. And chief among them is getting that ground game established and making sure that you have that because if Aaron Rodgers doesn't have a run game and he's got to scramble around back there, that's not the recipe the Steelers are looking for.
Well, let's talk about that run game. You bring it up, and of course, everything starts with that offensive line, the old Lombardi statement, and running him, blocking and tackling. And after that, if you can't do those two things, forget about anything else. So, is Jaylen Warren the guy to be the go-to running back?
Well, Jalen is the guy. He's going to be the lead running back. Now, how many carries he gets probably depends more on Jalen than it does on anything else. He's got to hang on to the football. We saw him fumble in that. There's only preseason action. That was on a catch, but still was a fumble. He's got to have that trust with that offensive line. They've got to make sure that that chemistry is what it needs to be. Now, if they don't, they have other options. I mean, I think Kenneth Gainwell's more of a receiver and third down back than every down back, but he's been sitting behind Saquon Barkley waiting for an opportunity to show that he's more than just a backup. He could get that chance and run with it if he performs well. And then there's Caleb Johnson, who I thought in the first preseason game was borderline bad. And I think he got better, but he had a couple of long runs in the second game in the third quarter against a lot of backups. So I don't know if that's necessarily him taking a big step or it was the level of competition. But I like bursts that I've seen in practice from him, but they need to be able to find something that can sustain a ground game. And obviously, it does start up front, but I think it's as much on the running backs right now of finding some type of rhythm as it is on the offensive line.
Well, when you look at things that would be of concern, last year the Steelers were 28th in the red zone. They were very, very conservative. They lived and died on the field goals. You saw some of the games that were they last year, 18 to 10, 19-17. And I thought they were very conservative. I know Tomlin says we don't want to live in our fears, but they got very, very conservative in the red zone. What do you see that might change that this year?
Number eight. That's why they would change that this year. Number eight. And I agree with you. I think they did live in their fears. They played not to lose almost offensively, like playing, let's not make a mistake and let the defense win the game. I understand the defense is the better side, the higher paid side. But that was kind of the philosophy. Aaron Rodgers he isn't going to stand for that. That's not going to be a part of what they do. It doesn't mean they're going to go crazy, but they are going to be more aggressive. There is a hell of a lot more trust, even though Russell Wilson has won a Super Bowl, that they have an Aaron Rodgers and what this offense can do right now than what they did last year. And they have more weapons. DK Metcalf was added. Jonnu Smith was added. Gainwell as a third down option was added. As much as Pickett was an amazing athlete, he wasn't always where he was supposed to be. So I think there will be I do believe that it will be better from a trust standpoint. And I think Aaron has improved as the practices have gone on. We didn't see him in the preseason, but I think he still has some game left. As long as they can get a run game going, I do think they could be more aggressive in the pass game. And one thing we have noticed in a lot of the seven shots, which are the 2-point conversion drills that the Steelers do, they're going to use Darnell down in the red zone a little bit more.
Now, you mentioned about Rodgers. He didn't play a snap. I don't think DK
No, he
played
didn't.
either. So you have that question of rest versus rust. Last 2 years, the Bengals got off to a real slow start because they didn't play Burrows or their receivers in the preseason. That has changed. Zach Taylor has played them a lot more than
Mhm.
than he's ever had. So, was it a wise move of Tomlin not to play Rodgers and Metcalf during the preseason?
We'll find out. I do like that they played the offensive line and let them try to get some rhythm, even with Sam Alou not a part of that five-man group in the preseason. Let them try to work some things, especially with Fautanu out there and Broderick on the left side. Uh, I mean, Aaron Rodgers, 10 snaps against vanilla defenses. I don't know if that gives you a lot. I, I don't have a firm opinion one way or the other. Let's see how it plays out. Uh, but because they played the line, I don't feel as bad about it. I don't know how much Aaron could gain from it. And I do believe that having that joint practice and all the snaps that they got in that joint practice with Tampa Bay was kind of like Rodgers' preseason game. And quite frankly, I'd rather see more of those. I think they're more productive than preseason games for at least the starters.
Well, let's jump to the defense. You mentioned it's a $170 million defense, the NFL's most expensive. I kind of scratch my head when I listen to these national guys repeatedly refer to the great Steeler defense. I'm not sure what defense they're watching. In their last two games against Baltimore, that defense got creased for well over 500 yards rushing. Harmon's hurt. What do you see that's going to improve this run defense this year?
Yeah, we don't know what Cam Hayward's situation, although I do expect him to play. I mean, listen, I think you I think you have another year of Peyton Wilson, which is going to, I think, make him noticeably better at middle linebacker. You added guys like Y.A. Black, who can help be in that rotation. I think Keanu Benton is a little bit more focused than he was previously. And I think this year you might actually see coverage help the rush because I do like the secondary. I think Jalen Ramsey and Darius Slay, along with Porter, where Porter doesn't have to be the lead guy. He can be the other guy, even for a short period of time, however it works out. I think Elliott's a nice safety. Juan Thornhill has played well, and you've got Chuck Clark if Thornhill doesn't work out. So I feel a lot better about their options. And even with Brandon Nichols as the or Eccles as the nickel as opposed to Beanie Bishop, I think that is a better option for them on the back end. So I think the back end will make the front end a little stronger. As for stopping the run, I mean, when Harmon gets back, and I think it's only going to be a couple of weeks, he's going to help improve that rush defense.
All right, what's your prediction for the win column this year, and will they win a playoff game?
I mean, Ed, obviously 17-0. I mean, come on. Uh,
Everyone in the NFL is undefeated at this point.
right. I, I I don't buy that their schedule is as hard as some people are saying. I know they've still got to deal with their division. I'm going to say 11-6.
Wow. And that
Um,
would get them second place or first place.
that will get them second. I think Baltimore's still the team to beat, and I think they'll be right there with Cincinnati in that, battling back and forth for second place. And I do think they'll get a playoff win. I don't think they're good enough to be a Super Bowl contender. I think they're good enough to take a step in the postseason, which is not the ultimate goal. But I just don't think I look at it more, Ed, this way. I don't think the Steelers are necessarily bad. It's just there are a lot of really good teams and a couple of Hall of Fame quarterbacks that they have to compete against in the AFC right now. A couple of them in their own division.
Hey, Jeff, in our final minute, let's go to Pitt. 7-0 start last year. Then they crumbled, losing six straight and an ugly loss in a bowl game. I don't even know the name of that bowl. And they lost 48-46 to Toledo in six overtimes. So what do you see this year? Last year, all the hype there, everyone, we thought they were going to be a playoff team, and then they crumbled at the end. What do you see differently about Pitt this year that gives you hope maybe they can make one of the top 12 teams?
Well, I think their defense is why you have hope. And that linebacker core are game changers. You have some youth in the secondary, some little inexperience. I think their D line is going to be better. That's why I have hope. I think they know that system a little better offensively, so they've prepared for it. They're physically ready for it. Thing to me is it's kind of like with the Steelers. Can they run the ball when they have to? And can they get some big plays from wide receivers? If they could do just a little bit more of that, I think offensively that's going to make them better. And with that defense being allowed to hunt, I think this is a Pitt team that could win 9 games this year.
Jeff, as always, thank you. I want to catch up with you again midway through the Steelers season and get your grade on them at that point. Be interesting to see what happens.
We'll see if the Kool-Aid is half full or half empty at that point.
Maybe you will have it all gone by then.
Thanks,
Hey,
Ed.
thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it. Talk to you
Yep.
again. I'll be right back with Ellen George. Back, joined to my right by the Swami George Abraham, to my left the Tiger Albert Campman. Here we go, guys. Spotlight high school football week 0. Rushing, Max Gallagher, Union, AC Valley, 186 yards and 3 touchdowns. Brendan Sankey, Monotol, 146 yards and a 17-0 win over Cottersport to snap an 18-game losing streak. Mason Holler, Riverside, 127. Mark Clems of Butler, 126. Braden McCarthy, Beaver Falls, 109. Luke Rohan, North Allegheny, 107. Hunter Schroeder of Mars, 106. And Aiden Yoakum of Mars, 101. Passing, Andrew Lobig of Seneca Valley, 277 yards. He had 357 total. Joey Felitsky, North Catholic, one of the best passers in a WPIAL, threw for 260. Brady Brinkley of North Allegheny, 211. Colin Urasinic of Mars, 154. And Nico Bagetta of Butler, 109. Receiving, Demetrius Crosby of Summit Academy, 10 for 209 yards. Gabe Hine of Mars, we've heard him the last few years, 6 for 142. Rory O'Shea, Seneca Valley, 4 for 122. Kyler Kennedy at North Catholic, 5 for 115. Heath Bargo of Hampton, 5 for 97. And Zion Hauser of Hampton, 4 for 71. Congratulations to Mars girls soccer coach Blair Gerlach on his 400th career win, a 2-1 victory over Knock. Let's go to high school football power rankings in 6A. Any surprises here? It's NA, they're 1-0. Central Catholic and Hempfield. We only do 3 because there's only 7 teams in that division. In 5A,
Central Catholic got beat, didn't they?
What's that?
Central Catholic got beat by somebody really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The big game this week is Pine Richland at Central Catholic.
Okay.
In 5A, it's Pine Richland, followed by Peters Township, Upper St. Clair, Bethel Park, Woodland Hills. Woodland Hills lost a really tough, close game to North Allegheny. This is a tremendous classification, 5A.
Yeah, they've ruined
Just
6A.
loaded.
And
Yeah, 6A.
5A is benefited.
In 4A, it's Thomas Jefferson McKeesport with one of the best running backs in the country. He is a Penn State recruit. Aliquippa, Mars, and Montour. Mars off to a big start. We're going to see them in a month or so. And 3A, it's Avonworth, Imani Christian with that win over Clareton, Elizabeth Forward, Freeport, Hopewell, and North Catholic. In 2A, it's Washington, South Park, South Allegheny, Karn City, and Still Valley. We're going to see Karn City against DuBois on September the 5th. And in Class A, it's Fort Cherry, Westinghouse. For all the players they lost, they start off with a win. That coach does a tremendous job down there. Clareton, Bishop Canevin, Union, AC Valley. Let's go to our stories of the week. The preseason is over. Do we ever learn anything about
Zero.
about as much? You could tell more from watching 2 squirrels fight over
They're
a wall.
behind and they're running into the line at the end of the game to get it over.
Here's what I say. They're playing 3 games to determine what 6, maybe 7 players make the team. And they already know ahead of time.
Yeah.
I believe they do.
Yeah, I think so.
So I think it's based on money. I really do. I think if you're drafted the first, second, or third, they can't cut you. So I don't care how lousy you are. You make the team the first year.
All right, I'm going to ask you guys same question I asked our guest, Jeff Hathhorn. Here's a glass of Steeler Kool-Aid on the table. You're going to look at it. You're going to sip it. You're going to drink it. You're going to pour it out. What are you doing with that Kool-Aid?
I say the same team they always have. So I'll drink it. They're going to win 9 games and get beat in the playoffs.
Oh, you're going to drink and you're only giving them nine wins.
Yeah.
George?
10.
10? Okay, I'm giving him 10 too. Now, here's a question I'm going to ask. Aaron Rodgers did not play a snap. Rest versus rust. Neither did Metcalf. Now, you look at the Bengals, previous 2 seasons, they got off to horrible starts.
Yeah.
Burrows never took a snap in preseason. This year, it's different. He's playing. T. Higgins is playing. They're playing everybody to get them ready for a better start to the season. So what are your thoughts on Rodgers not playing and Metcalf not playing?
I knew. My thought is I knew it was going to happen anyway. So not just them. It's every team. See, we're Steeler fans but no one plays anybody. The most they play is 3 plays, and they're
Mahomes played 3 series.
Yeah,
but Soup Boy started all this at the Rams. He didn't play anybody, and he won the championship. And remember, they went from 4 games to 3. So to be quite honest, I'm not sure any of them know how to handle it.
Why not play him 4 quarters?
That's what I said. Yeah, why not?
It's really simple.
Yeah.
Play
him.
I'd
want to play him into the second half, just see how they react after having a sweat.
Yeah, you agree. 2 years ago, first game, first quarter,
oh, terrible.
He tears his Achilles.
Yeah,
and it's so different in that they play on Wednesday and Thursday.
That's the game.
That's when they play. See, we're not there.
Yeah, that's when they
take
play.
those games more seriously.
Yes, they do.
On Saturday
the only
night.
difference is they got a red shirt on.
Remember last year, Russell Wilson got hurt pushing a blocking sled.
Yeah, no one's ever explained that.
All right, let's look at the areas of concern. I'm going to mention this, throw it out. You guys jump in. Offensive line and the depth up front, and of course, who's the left tackle protecting Rodgers? If he has to throw on the third step, real short passes, that's not going to work.
Yeah, it's been a trademark problem for a while. It's not like it's just coming up.
Well, I'm surprised they only list possibly 8 offensive linemen. I would feel more comfortable with a little more depth, adding a 9th to that crew.
I would figure they'll pick somebody up off the
after what today at 4
o'clock. They'll be cutting today, yeah. So after today,
they have to get down to 53 today, right?
53 is a number.
All right, let's look at the wide receivers, Metcalf, and then who? It's Roman Wilson, Scotty Miller, Calvin Austin, who's been hurt. I know they talk about, what do they have, 14 tight ends on the team that picking up the slack from the wide receivers. I don't necessarily buy it. You're going to play 3 tight ends. That's fine for short yardage passing game, but not downfield. Metcalf's going to get double teamed.
Austin's my favorite guy of the bunch, but he's hurt, so we'll see what happens with him when he gets healthy or not.
Well, last year in the red zone, the Steelers are 28th, and where Mike Tomlin says we don't live in our fears, they did. They got ultra conservative. Boswell, only one other team kicked more field goals than the Steelers. Look at some of the games last year, right? 18-10, 19.
It went 2 without a tutty.
Right, absolutely. I agree with you. So they need to be better in the red zone. Much better.
In a lot of places.
Well, I'm saying if there's anywhere that Rodgers makes the biggest contribution for them to maybe win 10 games, to win a playoff game, they have to dramatically improve, move up, not from 28th to maybe the middle of the pack, 14th or 15th in the red zone.
But he won't improve that because he can't run. And so if you could run, quarterbacks in the red zone improve it by running for touchdowns. So he's going to throw the ball from the 20 in. I don't think he'll improve it inside the 10.
And I think they're going to miss. I told Al this the other day. I think they're going to miss Najee's 1,000 yards. What's the best availability? I'll say by Thanksgiving, both their backs are hurt.
He was a 3-down back.
Yep.
Najee Harris, and he could block. And he was a pretty good receiver.
I'm not a big Najee guy.
But I'm saying he didn't miss a play.
No, right. He's always there. But I'm not. I don't think you can miss him at all.
At
all.
But when those two guys aren't there, and Thanksgiving,
well, that happens. Yeah, that's a different story. But I think there's so many running backs you can pick up. There's a lot of great running backs out there.
They're going to go running back by committee. It's Warren. He has a problem sometimes.
Ward never lasts, does he?
No. And Caleb Johnson, he needs to grow. He's a rookie. Maybe the surprise will be Gainwell.
Well, Gainwell's, but he's not a 3-down. He's not a 3-down back either.
I'm not sure they have a 3-down back.
They're fine. They're fine. Well, they're fine if the offensive line blocks. That's what they're fine.
Now, if we look at strengths, that defense, the inside linebackers, they're just strong. They got a lot of depth there. Outside linebackers, obviously, with Highsmith and Watt, they're strong. And the rookie Sawyer, but after that, there's not a lot of depth there outside. They can't afford to get.
I think the kid from Wisconsin is tremendous. That's what I think the guy. And I think he's the Hakes, how you were saying his name. He's awesome.
You mean not Peyton Wilson?
No, the outside. You're talking about outside ring?
Outside.
No, yeah, the kid from Wisconsin can rush the pass.
Sawyer.
No, Sawyer's
Ohio State.
Sawyer's fourth. They got that third way better than him.
All right, but still, you need to keep those top two guys.
Oh, definitely that. But that kid from
Healthy.
Wisconsin came in and is really good. I'm terrible with names, but he's an awesome player.
All right, now the defensive line, Harmon is hurt. Black has had a pretty good preseason as far as preseason goes. He's a monster, 6'5", 340 pounds, and Logan Lee's healthier this year. Cam Hayward is a hold in. I'd be shocked he doesn't play that first game. Now, here's the thing. When I hear, and we've heard this before, the national pundits, this great Steeler defense. The two games against Baltimore last year, they give up 520 yards rushing. That rush defense, that defensive line better be a lot stronger against the run if this is going to be a playoff team.
They're not great defensively. They're good.
They're good.
Yeah,
You're right. What is it that the national media sees? They keep reusing. They calling them great.
Get that narrative that they're great, or they hear some names and they just think that. But Al said it, and so did you. When they have those big games like at Baltimore in the playoffs or at Buffalo or whatever, teams run the ball.
All right, let's look at the secondary. How do you feel about the secondary?
Old. Pass rush needed. If they get the pass rush, they'll be great. If they don't get a pass rush, they'll struggle.
I mean, they're counting on Darius Slay. He's 34 years old. I don't think he's an every down back anymore.
Now, there's a lot of coin flips in the air, but one thing they did. So for us to win, we have to make some changes.
So
they did take the shot.
Is Ramsey a big upgrade?
Well, he can't be worse than Fitzpatrick was. Do you understand? Fitzpatrick was the most overrated player in football.
But there were so many missed coverages last year. How many receivers in the red zone were wide open?
That's what they were talking about. They said they didn't play that much, and they had all those communication issues.
All right, I'm going to throw this quote out to you by the safety Thornhill, who said this could be one of the greatest defenses ever.
He must have been on vodka that day or something, so I don't know.
Yeah, we'll say, hey, if they're average, that
it all comes out in their pass rush. You know that, Eddie. When they get to the quarterback, they really are good defensively. If they don't, they become average.
And you know too, when 2/3 of your money or more goes to the defense, it should be
$170 million
out of what, 280 or something,
highest paid in the NFL.
Yeah.
And the other thing, as the season goes along, how's Rodgers going to acclimate himself to Arthur Smith's offense and to Tomlin? Really likes to have things controlled. He doesn't like the quarterback to change plays at the line of scrimmage. I wonder how this is going to transpire.
Well, one thing we know, we have something to root for at least. Because I'm telling you, there's other teams that don't have any chance. The Steelers have a chance every year. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, let's look at our NFL power rankings. You guys jump in. I have the Eagles, last year's record 18-3. The Bills 15-5. At number 3, I have the Ravens 13-6. Fourth, the Chiefs. They were 17-3. The Lions 5th, 15-3. The Vikings next. They got some great players. Then I have Washington, followed by the Chargers, Denver, the Steelers. They were 10-8 last year. Houston, Cincinnati, and that depends. Are they going to get their rush end back in?
He signed him yesterday.
Did they sign him?
Yeah, he's back.
Gave him like $30 million more.
He's back.
All right, here are my surprise picks. I have New England and the new coach, Mike Vrabel, a defensive overhaul. They get a big new defensive tackle, the rookie running back. Travion Henderson has been tremendous. And my other surprise pick, I think, will be the Chicago Bears.
I like the Bears.
You like the Bears too? Huh? All right.
I would like them if they weren't in that division a lot more. Vikings, Packers, Lions.
Right. My AFC North prediction, I have the Ravens going 13-4, the Steelers 10-7, the Bengals 9-8, the Browns 6-11. What do you have?
Well, the other team I really like, you said the Bears. I like the Bengals. I like the Bengals team this year. I really do.
Well, you know what's killed them the last 2 years?
Defensively.
1-3, 1-4 starters.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're terrible starters. Terrible.
Well, they didn't play any of those offensive guys.
We're going to find out if that works or not.
We'll see if it works.
Yeah, they think they learned from it. They lost to New England last year, opening game. They killed everybody's suicide week 1.
Well, let's look at the Steelers' first 3 games. They opened with the Jets. and quarterback Justin Fields. Steelers by 3. Then home with the Seahawks, and then at New England.
Well, if they're as good as
3-0 or 2-1?
they should be 3-0 if they're good if they're as good as you say they are. But I think they're going to be 2-1.
And let's look at the last 3. Detroit, at Cleveland, home with the Ravens. That's a stretch.
Let's hope they mean something.
Right.
Let's hope they mean something.
Yeah, the Ravens many times have it clinched, and Pittsburgh catches them. They could catch them at home. That last game, they could be playing their backups.
That's true. Hey, let's go to college football. Some great games coming up Saturday. Ohio State and Texas. The Buckeyes by 2.5. Here's an interesting game. Alabama and Florida State. Florida State 2-10 last year. Bama by 13.5. It's a hot seat for both coaches, Kalen DeBoer and Mike Norvell.
I like the way you said that the fan base expect a lot from both teams, and they're not going to be very patient.
Here's another interesting. Clemson by 3.5 over LSU. Brian Kelly, 29-11 over 3 years. That seat's getting warm.
No, it's warmer than it's been.
And TCU by 3.5 over North Carolina, and Bill Belichick in his college debut. How do you think Belichick and the Tar Heels will go this year?
He's a winning coach, so you know that for sure. I just don't know what the talent he has. I wish I knew more about his portal, who he brought in.
They brought a lot of players in.
They did.
They increased the size and strength of the team with their strength training coach. I'm going to say 8 wins.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, how about them? They brought a quarterback in. He went all through spring ball with them, then went back to Purdue.
You're kidding me.
No.
Notre Dame by 2.5 over Miami at Miami.
I like Notre Dame's team.
Yeah, I love Notre Dame.
All right, guys, let's look at something here. We're talking about TV, the NFL, and the viewer. ESPN acquires major components of the NFL media, which includes the NFL Network, the multi-sport branding rights, Red Zone. What's this going to mean for the average viewer? You guys are much bigger on that than I am. What are we going to look at here?
George knows more.
What are we looking at? Some say $70 or more a month.
Yeah, I don't know. If you have all 7 platforms, you're going to pay because you have those games on Netflix, Peacock. There are other. It's not just NFL.
So it could be 100 more a month.
I don't know exactly the total, but I know one thing. That YouTube really raised their price. Does it appear, Matt knows way more than we do. I think what the thought is, they're going to try to bypass the cable companies and stream it to your Wi-Fi.
Be interesting.
Yeah.
Hey, here's a sign of the times, high school football. High school football stars are being told if they want to make big NIL money going to a major college next year, they need to have big senior seasons.
You think?
I'll tell you the truth, there's not many, there are some. Only the top 5 stars are being recruited. The high school kids are being recruited.
Yep.
Hey, that's it for us. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.